want to be based in the US. I want to visit home. I want to visit friends and family, but have a better lifestyle in Asia.
I had a conversation with Ricky, a kindergarten teacher by day and entrepreneur by night, who's been living in Shanghai for 6 years, before, during, and after COVID. We talked about what made him stay, how his life compares to back home in Los Angeles, and the realities of building a company here as a foreigner. If you've ever wondered what it's really like living and working in China as an expat, keep watching. So how long have you been in China?
Been here in Shanghai for 6 years in total. But I lived in Asia for 8 years. I was in LA, in Arizona first. Then I moved here in 2017. Then I left after COVID in 2022 and went to Bali and then went to Vietnam and then back in China in 2024.
What brought you here to China in the first place?
I just had a desire to get out of America and see the world, try something new. I was interested in cultures and history. So this was the easiest way to get out, teach English in China. Yeah, I came in 2017 and started teaching. After about a year or so, I started a company and then realized there's so many more opportunities in China outside of teaching and then many, many other things, which is nice. Most things I probably couldn't really do in the US.
Can you give me a few examples of things that you couldn't do back home?
Started an entertainment company, built some cachet, make some income from that. That's probably the main thing. To run an event company in the US, it's almost too saturated. The competition would be insane. It require a lot of capital and money to get started and compete against other people. I mean, there's a lot, but it's not overwhelming, or to the point where there's no way for me to succeed. So that's an example. And then just creating content. I think making content in different countries more interesting. Seeing parts of China and don't even speak English. It's nice because I can practice my Chinese, but they can see cross-cultural communication, the diaspora of interests and how we have similar interests, even though we speak different languages. Very interesting. Yeah. Creating content and running events.
So are you still teaching?
Still teach full time. Teach kindergarten. I'm a homeroom teacher. Homeroom kindergarten teacher is basically, you're with them all day, so you teach everything. Right. You don't just teach English for like 40 minutes and then you just disappear. It's not that. I'm with them the entire day. While they nap, you're with them. While they're playing games, you're with them teaching English, you're with them outside playing. You're taking care of them for about 8.5 hours a day until they go back to their parents, to their guardians.
Have you always taught the kindergarten grade?
I taught 6th grade in Vietnam. I was teaching math and science. 6th grade math and science in Vietnam, Ho Chi Minh City. Did that for about a year. It was interesting. Yeah.
How so?
Just different age group, different discipline, management styles. 26 kids class is a bit intense. Managing kids, 26 7-year-olds is pretty intense.
Right.
That wasn't very fun. Sorry.
It's probably a lot to handle.
The subjects were fun, but the managing, keeping everyone in order was not fun. Every day there's moments where it tests your patience. With kindergarten kids, it's a lot easier because they're just children. You don't need to do much to manage them. Simple things, stars and stickers and things like this.
Right.
Pretty easy. Not when they're older. When they're older, it's a whole different style. And in this culture, in Vietnam, it's almost like militaristic kind of management system in order for kids to respect you. Pretty intense.
How's that different from China and Vietnam?
I think it's similar, almost the same. It's just 11-year-olds are going to respond or act and respond to different things as opposed to a 5-year-old. Both cultures want their children to be disciplined, learn as much as possible, but it requires the teacher to be patient.
So how would you say the kindergarten system in China and back in the States are different?
I didn't teach or do any kind of education jobs. So I'm not too sure about kindergartens in the US, but I do know one thing, that parent expectations are usually quite different in the US. They're not expecting their children to learn math, phonics and reading and writing and all these things at 3, 4, and 5 years old. A lot of our early education is predicated on building social skills, friendships, creativity, arts, and getting outside, playing outside. It's more like play and be outdoors, build your physical skills, build your teamwork skills, your social skills, your art skills. In China, it's all about math and English. It's really intense.
So for the 6 years you've taught in China, has that changed? Has it become more strict or has been more relaxed, or it's the same?
It's never been relaxed, not once. It's always been intense. I understand, culture here is different. The children are expected, to learn as much as possible because, and what is it? 15 years later, they have to go to university. And 4 years after that, they have to get a job. So in order to be competitive in a saturated market with a low birth rate, less opportunities for the population because there's still a lot of people, you have to be highly competitive, meaning you got to start at an early age. So the families with the money who can afford it invest in their children's education as early as possible to give them an advantage over the next 18 years. I don't think it's going away. Too many expectations, societal pressure as well. Good in one way because teachers get paid a lot, because the schools make a lot of money because the rich parents, so they're willing to pay extra money to ensure that their children have competitive advantage in the future and can get the better scores, get the better schools, get the better jobs.
Do you plan on sticking around for a few more years? Do you have any future plans?
Yeah, I just want to keep developing in my company. I plan on being based in Shanghai. I don't want to be based in the US. I want to visit home. I want to visit friends and family, but have a better lifestyle in Asia. And have more friends here, have a better network, better cachet, clout, infrastructure. Yeah, I'm trying to stay here because there's a lot I want to do with my company that requires me to probably be put in Asia. I just realized I make better money here. I have a better apartment. I still can access international food and experiences. I can get around easier. I don't need a car. I don't need to pay car insurance. I can walk. I can ride a metro. Just the whole infrastructure of life here is easier, more convenient. And I just realized, and I make better money teaching. Teaching English here provides me a better salary than any job I ever had in the US. And I still have more holiday, more time off. To me, it's a no-brainer. You know, the only thing America has to offer are two things: my family, friends, and nature. Because Shanghai, it has no nature here. It's flat. So I missed out on all that nature experience. But to make up for that, you know, the money's better, the opportunities are better for me because I'm a foreigner here with skill sets, or foreign expert, however you want to categorize this term. But back home, I'm just another guy. I'm great, like I'm unique, of course, everybody is, but I'm just another guy in the US. If I went back home, that's 8 years removed. I would have to start from nothing. 8 years removed from the US, and I'm supposed to come back and be prevalent and have some kind of status in the community. I'm actually quite a prominent figure in Shanghai. I've been here so long. I know so many people. I don't know why I would ever go anywhere else. Like, I would have to start from nothing. I'd be a nobody compared with everyone else. So yeah, I'm not going back anywhere. I don't want to start from scratch. I just want to visit family and friends.
Right.
But I want to stay in Shanghai and stay around Asia, Vietnam and Bali and all these places where I've developed friendship.
Were you also in the education back in LA?
No, never did any teaching job or any of that in Los Angeles. Worked in finance.
Finance doesn't pay that much.
Not the job that I had. Retail banking is different. It's just a sales job. So you get a base salary plus commission on goals, metrics that you meet within your quotas. Regular retail bankers make a set salary plus a bonus. It doesn't have a good base salary compared to like in China. And also the cost of living is higher in Los Angeles. And there's tips and higher taxes. You have a lot more expenses than you have.
Have you gone back ever since COVID?
Yeah. I went back in 2022 and I left in 2023 in January. I'll go home this Christmas and it'll been almost 3 years since I've been back home.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah, this has been far too long.
How did your family and friends react when you first told them that you're going to give a try at teaching in China, halfway across the world?
I don't actually remember. I think they're open to it because they know I'm open-minded. I like trying new things. So pretty sure my mom was like, oh, that's great. That's cool. Americans are not aware and understand what really is going on in China. So maybe some people are skeptical. My mom was probably skeptical, but I can't remember exactly. But I know they were accepting of it and supporting. Friends and family have always been supportive of me because they know I'm doing different things. So it wasn't a surprise.
Have they visited you here?
No, nobody from back home was visited.
Are they interested in like checking out China? They just haven't gotten the time.
I don't know. I think my mom has wanted to visit, but she can't sit on airplanes for too long. It's not like suitable for her, like her well-being right now. So aside from her, I don't know why other people. I can't say that they've wanted to, but haven't had time. It's been 8 years. It's kind of strange. I don't think, and maybe it's something with the media and how China's portrayed, but it doesn't matter. If you're going by yourself and you have no guide, maybe, but your family's there. And I'm doing great. Everyone can see I'm doing well on social media. I've never really understood it. And I think it's bothered me over time that I haven't had any family or friends that have ever made to come see me out here. Kind of sad, but it is what it is. If I had a brother or sister that lived in another country, I would have made time to go see him.
Right.
And we don't have a lot of holiday time, right? If you have some leave, you're probably doing something with your kids or your wife or something. And you only get Western holidays off. And when you have Western holidays, you're going to be with your family inside America. I get that. Sometimes it seems people don't care enough to see me. That's what it is. I'm just being very serious. That's how it is in American culture. Siblings, they don't stop loving each other, but they grow apart and distant because you're not around each other anymore.
Right. Yeah.
So you don't speak to each other. You don't see each other. You just become an acquaintance. And you see your family once a year or once every 2 years. That's not enough. I don't think that's very good at all. You know, if someone passed away or died suddenly, you'd be very, very regretful that you didn't try to see them or spend time. I wish it would change. I feel like when I go home over Christmas, I'm gonna have to tell people like I wish you guys would have come and see me. Nobody from this family has made time or even tried to reach out every once in a while. Kind of like has bothered me.
What was your impression of China before coming here?
I don't think I had much of an impression outside of what most Americans have, which is just old school China, which is all we know is what we see in the media. Like,
You thought everyone in China was kung fu?
our perception of China is what we see in the media, and what we see in the media is usually the ancient China, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, with the beautiful guitars and the rain and the feng shui. But like a modern version of China, we never really saw that. We don't see that very often. Now, maybe more because exposure of different cultures is better through social media. And so many people posting about stuff all the time. Whereas before, there wasn't that. China was never in the news for anything when I was younger, so we didn't know anything about it outside of what we saw on film and TV. I didn't have culture shock. I love being. I'm just like, this is cool. The main thing I remember was going to the metro early in the morning, and there's like hundreds of people on the station at like 7 in the morning, rush hour. Almost every person. I'm like, this is crazy. You just look. 1,000 people's heads and it's just black hair as long as far as you can see. Because in America, it's diverse.
The crowd never bothered you that much, like you don't have your personal bubble anymore.
That was probably the only thing, right? That's in the metro, leaning up against the door or like trying to find space to train all the people. That was new. You know, I never had that experience because we don't have metros in America. In some cities we do, but where I'm from, we have no metro system like Shanghai metro system. So I wasn't used to that. So when I got to China, I was just overwhelmed with the subway station. This is a lot of people. This is intense. It was cool. Shanghai is very international. I like going to some rural places. I'm like, wow, this is really what China is about right here. Nobody's speaking English. I got to figure it out. You know, it's like, this is cool. I'm not fluent in Chinese, but I can definitely get by if I need to. I can understand the gist of what people are saying.
So if I throw you a fisherman village, you can find your way around back into the city, asking for directions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You go back to the States. Is there like a reverse culture shock where like you're just used to how China runs?
Reverse culture shock, definitely. First and foremost, just transactions and paying for things. I know we can tap our phone and stuff now in the US, but it's different. Like I'm so used to using debit cards and numbers.
Yeah.
So the first 3 times I went back to the US, I was like, this is crazy slow. So like try to get around. There's no metro. Taxis are way expensive. I just remember how expensive it was. That was the reverse culture shock. Everything's so expensive, so slow. It takes forever to pay for things. You know, I can use a QR code and scan things in China. Transferring money is instant in China. I don't have to go through like a bank. It's just like at a push of a button in China, transfer money on Alipay. Like, what the heck is going on? This country's dated. It's too dated. We're too slow to develop. And second of all, people are overweight. It's really like really, really obvious in America how unhealthy we are compared to other cultures. You know, in China, it's rare that you see someone that's overweight. American overweight is like obese. Overweight in China is considered chubby in the US. And that's like normal for most people as they get older. Life is so slow in the US compared to China. And then personally, just seeing everyone kind of doing the same things as they were like years ago before I left. It's like time stood still. In America, China, I'm doing new stuff all the time. The world's always evolving and changing. And I go back home and it's like nothing's ever changed. Weekends are all about getting outdoors, going somewhere.
Have you noticed that there are more foreigners in Shanghai?
No, because I was here before COVID.
Yeah.
There was a lot of foreigners. Then I was here during COVID, not so many foreigners. And now I've been back after. Now it seems like there's more foreigners. Seems like it's getting back to pre-COVID. I think also people don't realize money is good in China. A lot of people want to try it out. There's a lot more exposure. The more chances people get to see what it's like, the more they want to come. It's only going to get better, especially when Western countries are kind of nuts, like the US. Some people just want to get out, go try something new.
It's a leap of faith to take where you just kind of drop everything back home by halfway across the world, not knowing whether you're going to make it or not. So do you have advice, maybe who's thinking about traveling, living in China? Any advice?
I would say do your own research. Don't listen to the news. And be wary of where you get information from. Because every country is going to have some negative things, some bad things. Every country's got some beautiful things, even the country where you're from. But you can't let that stop you from relishing and enjoying the places where you have common interests. And that's what I've learned. I might not agree with things politically with China, but at the end of the day, my country has things I don't either. So let's enjoy the things that we all have in common. So that's why I'm here. I love the food, enjoy the music. That's where I find common ground with locals, bringing everybody together through music and art. That's what I cherish and try to share with other people. Look online, social media accounts from regular people that live in China, and don't read American media or Western media because it's just going to try to paint based upon politics, not actually the life that normal people live here, expats, but also locals. Look for a job. It's the easiest way to get into China is just be a teacher if you're a native English speaker. Social media, watch people's accounts that live in China, and be open-minded. People are not going to always understand your ethnicity or your nationality. A lot of people here still have not had a lot of exposure to the outside world. There's always going to be people that are going to look at you and stare. They're not doing this to be rude. They're just curious because maybe they've never seen someone. So you can't look at it with the same lens that you have in your country, because then you're going to be offended. Be respectful of the culture and they'll respect you too, cherish you. If you try to learn some Chinese as well or do something that taking on a piece of the culture, then you're going to have an even better experience because people really respect that here, and they're going to give you all of that they can to make sure that you enjoy your time. So.
That's beautiful. That's beautifully said. What kind of jobs are open to foreigners?
Import, export, trade.
Like sourcing?
Probably second. Maybe not second, but that's harder to get into. I would say working for an international company that's based in China. That's difficult only simply because to get a job in China at a multinational corporation, you would have to know Chinese usually. Government, that's harder because you have to get through a lot of hoops to get these kind of jobs, U.S. government or foreign government, the ambassadorship or diplomats. You can take the political route, you can take a multinational corporation route, a teacher.
Is it very different in terms of work culture in China?
Yeah. Work culture is intense. East Asian, not just China. I think Japan actually is more intense than China. But yeah, there's an expectation that you're working a lot. So everyone wants good jobs. Everyone wants to make extra money, bonuses, because there's too many people and not enough jobs. So you have to kind of overwork and outdo other people to keep your job. Maybe it's similar in the US. I'm not really sure how the job market is. I haven't lived there for so long. But generally speaking, people definitely work more than they do maybe in the US. Our culture is predicated on social interaction, enjoying life more, I guess, especially in Europe. It's carefree life, going for lunches and going to the bar and just enjoying life with each other. In East Asia, having fun with your friends and enjoying your family time is not considered a priority. No. Priority is making money and working.
I guess it really depends on what you're looking for, where you're trying to get out of life.
I do a lot, so my work-life balance isn't as good. I chose this. If I were just to be a teacher and that's it, my work balance would be amazing because we finish at 4:30, 5 o'clock every day. We have weekends off. We have summer break, winter break, paid. That's great. A lot of time to do extra stuff and enjoy life. I don't do that. So I finish work at school and then go home and do content, contracts, finance stuff, accounting, blah, 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 blah. So I'm pretty much done around 9 o'clock. So yeah, I work almost 12 hours a day between teaching and business stuff. Take about 3 hours for myself each day. It's hard, but I actually enjoy it.
Did you have any challenges in particular while starting this entertainment company?
The first challenge was paperwork, understanding Chinese business structures and how to get started and do accounting and office leasing and all these other things. But it was just more or less to build the business itself, learning how to acquire clients and guests and customers and these things. Consumer spending habits, consumer thought process. I don't know that. I'm not Chinese. I just focus on what I can control and do the best at. That's like creative direction, mingling with people, relationship building, and all the technical stuff. I'll just pay someone else.
Did you find it particularly challenging at first with hiring people or working with Chinese?
Working with Chinese clubs has been difficult sometimes. The nightlife industry isn't very, I guess you can say, ethical. It's just nightlife, parties and girls and events and alcohol. It's not like a very prestigious thing to work in. So some people aren't very forthcoming and very honest in this industry.
Mhm.
Just got to be careful how you work with people. Make sure you always have contracts. Have someone Chinese with you to help translate. Working with some clubs who aren't very honest and forthcoming, and they want you to do this and that, but then it doesn't make sense. You know, in my opinion, I would do it this way, but they want it this way. So working with bar owners and club owners sometimes is difficult because they have different opinions and visions. But now it's okay. Promoting, trying to get people to come is hard because Shanghai has so many parties and events.
Hey, if you watched this far, thank you. I know the audio and connection weren't perfect, but I decided to share this conversation anyways, because life is about showing up and experiencing things, not chasing perfection. There's always a first for everything. If you enjoyed Ricky's story, please subscribe. I'll be sharing real stories from people living in China, what life is actually like beyond the headlines.